Daf Yomi, Tractate, Sanhedrin, page 110A, top of the page. I apologize for my sound quality. Something happened to my voice recently. And so my voice has been somewhat compromised, but try to do the best I can with God's help. Usatare lamazeh kol ta'asachazia hadar adahari behari im ibla lahu, and exposed her hair as though she were bathing. Anyone who came and saw her stepped back. And in the meantime, the assembly of Korach was swallowed into the ground, and On, the son of Peleth, was spared. Eat say to Korach, relay chazimai. Kavod Moshe, he who have malka lachuza shavei kana rabba l'nei agoi shivinu saglit kanei hasitruma amar tevun lekahen iyasu maser dishaklitu atun amar chad masra lekahen havu chad masra lekahen v'hod guys lekahen Mazaychul lemital hu ki kfur kufta ina yahav mazaychul lahu haihu nami kavid amra le kevan de hulu rubusa dide amar ihu nami tamos nafshi im lishtim. Korach's wife said to him, see what Moses is doing? He is the king. He appointed his brother high priest, and he appointed his brother's sons deputy priests. If Truma comes, he says, let it be for the priest. If the first tithe comes, which you as a Levite take, he says, give a tenth to the priest. And furthermore, he shares your hair and weighs you as if you are insignificant as excrement. See Numbers 8:5 through 11, and as though he sets his sights on your hair and wishes you to be shaven and unsightly. Korah said to her, but didn't he also do? He shaved his hair like the rest of the Levites used to, since it's all done for some prominence. He also said metaphorically, let me die with the Philistines. Judges 16:30. He was willing to humiliate himself in order to humiliate you, which is completely ridiculous. Yod, the Kamar Lechu, Avitu, Hilda, he's not like a lighter. You know, the Najima, back in me, the Kanda, because you know, Miss Yudah, I knew to see you, Hachmos, Nashim, Hatzah, Pesa, Zoom, Misho, Shalom and Pelos. He velet yada teharsena zo ishto shel Korach. She said to him, and furthermore, with regard to that which he said to you, to prepare sky blue dye for your ritual fringes, one could respond to him, if it enters your mind, Moses, that using sky blue dye is considered a mitzvah, take out robes that are made entirely of material colored with sky blue dye, and dress all the students of your academy in sky blue robes without ritual fringes. Why could one not fulfill the mitzvah in that manner? Clearly Moses is fabricating all this. This is the meaning of that which is written, the wisdom of women builds her house. Proverbs 14:1 is referring to the wife of On, son of Peleth, and folly plucks it down with her hands. Proverbs 14:1 is referring to the wife of Korach. Let's see if we can move a different place. Sound quality will be better. See, maybe hear a better sound quality. Again, I apologize for my unusual sounding voice. Show must go on. That's the beauty of Daf Yomi. No matter what, rain or shine. Esakevas echad taseh b'boker. Esakevas hasheni taseh bin arbaim. Weiter. V'yekumu b'nei Moshe v'nashim b'nei Yisrael 50 Musayim. Nesiei ha'ida miyuchadim she'ha'ida kriyei moed she'ayu yodim laber shanim b'likvah chadashim anshei shem she'ayu lahem shem b'chol ha'olam. It is written, and they rose before Moses with the men of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the congregation, elect men of the assembly, men of renown. Number 62. These men were the distinctive people of the assembly. The elect men of the assembly, Kriyei Moed is referring to those who knew how to intercalate the years and establish the months in order to determine the time for each festival, for each moed. Men of renown is referring to those who had a reputation throughout the world. Vayishma Moshe vayipol panav. Mai Shmuel Shama Amarav Shmuel Bar Nachmani Amarav Yonas Shechadju Meishes Ish. Shechadju Meishes Ish Nemar Vayikanu La Moshe Machane Amar Rabbi Shmuel Bar Yitzchak Lamed Shekol Echad Be'echad Kina Ishto Mimoshe Shnemar Moshe Yikach Es HaOel V'Natalo Yichutz Machane. With regard to the verse, and Moses heard and fell on his face, Numbers 16:4, the Gemara asks, what report did he hear that elicited that reaction? Let's see, maybe standing is better. Let's see. Rabbi Shmuel says that Rabbi Yonatan says he heard that they suspected him of adultery with a married woman, as it is stated, and they were jealous of Moses in the camp. Psalms 106:16. Rabbi Shmuel Bar Yitzchak says this teaches that each and every man warned his wife to distance herself from Moses and not to enter into seclusion with him, as it is stated. And Moses would take the tent and pitch it outside the camp. Exodus 33:7. It was due to this slander that he withdrew from the camp. Vayakam Moshe vayelech el dasan Aviram Amar Rish Lakish Mikan she'ein machzikin b'machlokes Amar Rav kol machzik b'machlokes over balav shneimar v'lo yeh k'korach u'che'adaso. With regard to the verse, and Moses arose and went to Dasan Aviram, Numbers 16:25, which he says, here we derive that one may not perpetuate a dispute. As Rav says, anyone who perpetuates a dispute violates prohibition, as it is stated, and he will not be like Korah and his assembly, as the Lord spoke by the hand of Moses to him. Numbers 17:5. Even the aggrieved party must seek to end the dispute. Thus, here, accused Moses by right should have initiated the reconciliation. Nevertheless, Moses was not insistent on this. He went to them. Rav Ashi Amar Ro'ei litztareha kesiv hacha biyad Moshe lo ukesiv hasam yomer Hashem lo od hava na yadcha b'chigecha. Rav Ashi says one who perpetuates a dispute is fit to be afflicted with leprosy. It is written here by the hand of Moses to him. And it is written there, and the Lord said for the Lord's input, now your hand into your bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, it was leprous, as white as snow. Exodus 4:6. Based on the verbal analogy, based on the term to him written in both verses, it is arrived that the punishment for perpetuating a dispute is leprosy. Rav Yossi, Rav Yossi, Kol hacholek al malchus beis David raui lehakisho nachash. Ksiv achav yizbach Adoniyahu tzon v'akar umari Im Evan Hazocheles Uksiv Hasam Im Hamas Zochale Afar. Apropos the prohibition of perpetuating a dispute, Rabbi Yossi says with regard to anyone who disputes the reign of the house of David, it is fitting for a snake to bite him. As is written here, and Adonijah slaughtered sheep and cattle and fatlings by the stone of Zocheles. 1 Kings 1:9, and it is written there, with the poison of crawling things of the dust. Deuteronomy 32:24. Adonijah, who rebelled against his father King David, was fit to be bitten by a snake. Amar of Hizda, Kol HaCholik al Rabo, Kecholik al Shechina, Shenemar Behatzosam el Hashem. Amar Rabbi Chama, Rabbi Chanina, Kol HaOse Meriva im Rabo, Ke'osa im Shechina. Shenemar, Hema me Meriva, Asher Ravu b'nei Yisrael es Hashem. Rav Hizda says, anyone who disagrees with his teacher is like one who disagrees with the divine presence. As it is stated with regard to Dasan and Abiram, when they strove against the Lord, Numbers 26:9, although their dispute was with Moses. Rabbi Chamas and Rabbi Chanina says, anyone who initiates a quarrel, Mariva, with his teacher is like one who initiates a quarrel with the divine presence. As it is stated, these are the waters of Meribah, where the children of Israel quarreled with the Lord, Numbers 20:13. Although their quarrel was with Moses, Amar Rabbi Chanina bar Papa, Kol Midraim al Rabo, Ilu Mizraim al Shechina, Shemar, Lo Aleinu Tilu Sechem, Gim Halasham. Amar Rabbi Abahu, Kol HaMahar Acher, Rabo, Ki'ilu Mahar Acher Shechina. Shemar, Vaydaber Am Be'elohim U'Moshe. Rabbi Chanina bar Papa says, anyone who expresses resentment against his teacher for wronging him, it is though he is expressing resentment against the divine presence. As it is stated, your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. Exodus 16:8. Rabbi Bahu says, anyone who suspects his teacher of wrongdoing, it is as though he suspects the divine presence. As it is stated, and the people spoke against God and against Moses. Numbers 21:5. The verse likens God and Moses with regard to this matter. Asor Shemur Lebalav Lira'aso Rish Lakish Zeh Oshirosh Korach Chol Yakum Asher Barag Lechem Amar Rabbi Lazar Zem Mona Shal Adam Shamido Al Raglav Amar Rabbi Levi Masui Shalosh Meos Prados Livanos Hayu Maftachos Beis Kenazah Shal Korach Bechuluhu Aklidei Vikli Kilpe de Gilda. With regard to the verse, wealth is kept for the owner to his detriment. Ecclesiastes 5:12. Reish Lakish says this is referring to the wealth of Korach, which was of no use to him. The fact that Korach was wealthy is derived from this verse, and all the substance that was at their feet. Deuteronomy 11:6. As Rabbi Elazar says, this is referring to a person's property which stands him on his feet. Rabbi Levi says the keys alone to Korach's treasury were a burden requiring 300 white mules to transport them. Moreover, all the keys and locks were of leather. This conveys the vastness of his wealth. Okay, I think we can do this. Amar B'chama Rechanina, Shalosh Minos Ben Yosef Mitzrayim, Achas Niskalta, the Korach, Achas Niskalta La'an Toninus, Ben As Virus. V'yachas genuzel etzadikim l'asi levo. Chanina son of Rechama son of Rechina says Joseph concealed 3 buried treasures in Egypt that he accumulated from the sale of grain during the years of famine. The location of one was revealed to Korah, and the location of one was revealed to Antoninus, son of Asvirus, emperor of Rome, and one remains hidden for the righteous in the future, in the Messianic era. The Messianic era. May it come soon. Amar Rabbi Yochanan Korach, lo min ha-beluim, velo min ha-sirufin, lo min ha-beluin d'chsiv, v'es kol adam asher koirach, velo koirach, velo sruvim, d'chsiv achol ha'ish, es 50 ish, velo koirach. And Rabbi Yochanan says Korach was neither among the swallowed nor among the burned. He died in a plague. He was neither among the swallowed, as it is written, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them, and their houses, and all the men who were with Korah. Numbers 16:32. From which is inferred, but not Korah himself, nor was he among the burned, as is written, when the fire consumed 250 men. Numbers 26:10, but not Korah. B'masni sa'atana goyrach min asruvin u'min habluin min habluim dichtiv v'yiptivla osam yes Korach min asruvin dichtiv v'teitz eish mifnei Hashem v'ishet samez Hashem v'toch ha'azam ish v'koyrach b'hadayu v'tochal ez 50 u'masayim ish v'korach b'hadayu. He was taught in Bryce that Korach was both among the bird and the swallowed. He was among the swallowed, as is written, and the earth opened his mouth and swallowed Kairah. Numbers 26:10. He was among the burned, as is written, the fire came forth from the Lord and devoured the 250 men that burned the incense. Numbers 16:35. And Korach was with them. Amar Rav Amayde Chsiv Shemesh Yireach Amad Zevula Laor Chitzech Yalechu Melamed She'asu Shemesh V'Yireach Lezvul Amru L'fanav Rebbeinu Shalom Ima Ta'os Edin L'ben Amram Neitze V'im Lav Lo Neitze Ad Shezarak B'ahem V'chitzim Amar Lahem B'chvodi Lo Mechitam B'chvod B'sar B'dam Mechitam V'idina Lo Nafki Ma'adim Achulahu. Rava says, what is the meaning of that which is written? The sun and the moon stand in their habitation at the light of your arrows as they go. Back through 11. This teaches that the sun and the moon ascended to Zevul, one of the 7 firmaments in which the upper temple stands. They said before God, Master of the universe, you performed justice for Moses, son of Amram, to prove his righteousness. He will emerge and illuminate the world, and if not, we will not emerge. They did not emerge until God fired arrows at them and said to them, you did not protest with regard to my honor, as people would see the sun and moon each day and worship them. But you protested for the honor of flesh and blood. And today the sun and the moon do not emerge until they are struck, as in deference to God. They hesitate to emerge. Dorosh Rav Amai Dichtiv V'im Birya Yivra Hashem Upatzita Adama Et Piha Amar Moshe L'vnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Im Birya Gehinom Mutav V'im Lav Yivra Hashem Lemai Ilema Lemivrei Mamash V'amen Kol Chadash Tachat HaShamesh Ele Kruvei Pitcha. Rava taught, what is the meaning of that which is written? But if the Lord creates a new creation and the earth opens its mouth, Numbers 16:30, Moses said before the Holy One, blessed be He, if Gehenna is already created, good. But if not, God should create it now. The Gemara asks, for what was Moses asking? If we say that his request was for God to actually create Gehenna, isn't it written There is nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes 1:9. There are no new creations after the 6 days of creation. Rather, Moses asked God to bring the opening of Gehenna close to there, so that the assembly of Korach would be buried alive. Uvenei Korach lo mesu tana mishum Rabbeinu amru makom nitbatzer lahem begehenom v'yashvu elav v'amru shira amar Rabba bar bar Chana zimna chada hava ka'azirna v'orcha amar li hahutaya ta v'achve lach belu'e de Korach azil chaza Tzarei bazai de'ava kanafi kitra minayu shagal gavava de'amra amshe maya meotve bresh rumche ve'ach lefe hatam ikhrach amar li atzidma shemat shematu kamri achi Moshe v'torato emet behem badayim. With regard to the verse, and the sons of Korach did not die, in Numbers 26:11, it is taught in a Braita that in the name of our teacher, the sages said, a place was fortified for them in Gehenna. And they sat upon it and recited songs of praise. Rabba bar bar Chana said, one time I was walking on the path, and a certain Arab said to me, come and I will show you those from the assembly of Korach who were swallowed. And I went and I saw 2 fissures in the ground from which smoke was emerging. That Arab took a woolen fleece and dampened it with water and placed it on the tip of his spear and passed it over the fissures there. The fleece was singed, indicating the level of heat there. He said to me, listen, what do you hear? And I heard this, is what they were saying. Moses and his Torah are truth, and they, meaning we, are liars.